Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, being an entrepreneur has never been more sexy. We're going to hear about the good, the bad, and the ugly of entrepreneurship with a leading national expert next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
When I graduated from Michigan State in the 80s, they didn't have an entrepreneurship class. I think the message was basically go get a job in corporate America, keep your nose clean, and don't get fired. But these days, all major universities are introducing entrepreneur into their curriculum, and one of the most respected schools in the country as far as entrepreneurship is concerned is the TCU Neeley School of Business. Michael Sherrod is in the studio. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to learn more about your bio in a second, but I want you to talk about what you're seeing just in terms of enrollment, and is there an enthusiasm around becoming an entrepreneur that hadn't been there, say, 20 years ago?
Oh, the enthusiasm just gets greater every year. 90% of high school seniors are interested in entrepreneurship in some shape or form. And our students come into entrepreneurship, and they may not immediately want to start a company, but they want to go work and get some experience and then start one. And the reason for that is if you look at what's going on in the world, a lot of entry-level jobs are now being taken by AI. So as a result, it's harder and harder to get an entry-level job. So a lot of students are turning to entrepreneurship for that reason, but also because they don't want to work for the man. They want to work for themselves. They want to set their own schedules. They want to have more freedom. A lot of them don't realize how hard it is to start companies, and it takes a while before you're able to take any time off. But they still are really interested in it. And here's an interesting factoid for you. Before COVID, we had about 15 years of decline in startups. Small businesses, tech startups, whatever you want to call it. We didn't understand why that was the case, but they were declining. After COVID, it's been almost a record every month since of startups. Wow. So the mindset changed during COVID. People suddenly went, you know what, I don't like that commute. I don't like having to do these things at the office or whatever. I'm going to start my own thing. And there was a lot of vacuum in the marketplace from companies that hadn't survived COVID. So a whole lot of people decided to start companies. It was pretty extraordinary.
And your title over there is Entrepreneur in Residence at TCU Neeley School of Business. And they probably couldn't have picked a better person because, you've been there, done that hat, you've got the T-shirt. They produced a really nice video about you, I want to say 2 years ago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Hello, my name is Michael Sherrod. I am the William M. Dickey Entrepreneur in Residence here at TCU, and I'm also a faculty lead on the Advanced Leadership Certificate Program in the Executive Ed Division. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I worked for corporations. I started companies inside big companies. I've sold companies for up to $400 million. I have hired and fired thousands of people, unfortunately, or fortunately. There's not very much in the business world that I haven't done, both as a corporate executive and as an entrepreneur. I started my first company right out of graduate school. I basically started it with a $10,000 loan, and if I didn't make money on the very first issue of the magazine I was starting, I was bankrupt. I got lucky, and very quickly I had built 6 more companies, and things were going great for me. And then I was in a really bad car wreck. And because of that, I ended up having to sell the company because I wasn't able to run it for quite a while. That's when I had my first lesson in change. My career has been one long, constant reinvention of myself and reinvention of the companies that I start so that they fit in the marketplace. One of the things that I'm often asked is, why do I enjoy working in executive ed? Well, the reason is because I enjoyed working in corporations. The executive ed team are all people who have been entrepreneurs or who have been corporate executives. They're people who understand what we're trying to do. And it brings me into contact with a wonderful, diverse group of executives from all around North Texas and around the United States. And that's just really exciting for me. I'm Michael Sherrod with the Neeley School of Business at TCU.
Wow. Main thing I got out of that was change. I mean, it was a forced change, just like COVID interrupted everybody's business. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, is it?
No, it is not.
Talk about the kind of person who's cut out to be an entrepreneur, because some people, let's be honest, they would lose sleep if they were worried about payroll every week.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, you know, I'm not sure there is any specific type of person who's meant to be an entrepreneur. There are a lot of people who are entrepreneurs out of necessity, and those people can be just as successful as anyone else. Then there are entrepreneurs by choice, people who sometimes are unemployable elsewhere, who realize that the only opportunity they have is to start their own companies. There are a lot of accidental entrepreneurs. One of the most successful engineering companies in Texas was completely an accident. He graduated from Rice University with an engineering degree, couldn't find a job anywhere, so he started doing consulting work, and slowly but surely then he took on a partner so he could take a vacation, and now it's one of the largest engineering firms in Texas, and doing work for NASA and places like that. So he calls himself an accidental entrepreneur, and there are more of those than you would think. And then there are the entrepreneurs who are come out of big companies. About 65% of all business startups come out of big companies from layoffs, and people get a package and they go and start something, or they are fired and they leave voluntarily to start something. And one of the most common ways is their customers come to them because they're operating in a division of a big company, and they say, you know what, we love you and we love working with you, but we don't love your company. If you leave, we'll be your first 5 customers.
Wow.
So they leave, they make money the first month, they're in business right away. And that happens a lot.
You touched on AI, and I want to drill down a little deeper on that, because some people have compared it to like the beginning of the internet, that it's that much of a game changer. Is that overstating it?
No, not at all. I think it's probably going to have more impact than the internet. And the reason is because the internet was democratized. We can all use the internet. But AI has been democratized too. It is the single most powerful technology that individuals have ever had access to. And because of that, it gives individuals out on their own, or in a startup, or in a family business, or in a large corporation, the ability to innovate for themselves. They can innovate about their job in marketing or logistics, or whatever it may happen to be, and they can create ways to create more productivity for themselves, 20 to 70% in most cases. And that has a profound impact on not only them, but on their business life as a whole. And companies don't really know how to navigate AI yet. Yes. Individuals do, but the companies don't. And some of them are afraid of it. They don't want their employees using it because they might put proprietary information in, et cetera. But I would suggest and recommend that all companies learn about it and teach all of their employees about it and reap the rewards of their employees' innovation. IT no longer will be the centralized place for innovation. It will be each person innovating to increase their own productivity, and by doing that, increasing the whole firm's productivity.
Outstanding. I want to learn more about the TCU Neeley School of Business. They made another video. Let's go ahead and roll that.
The Neeley School of Business has become one of the most prestigious institutions of higher learning and thought leadership in Texas, to all corners of the globe. It's a hub for Fortune 500 corporate partners, local and statewide civic organizations, alumni, donors, government partners, and mass media outlets. Our centers of excellence partner with industry leaders to bring classrooms and boardrooms together to create a world-class experiential, global curriculum that fosters excellence. Our alumni and corporate partners ignite a passion for success in our students, providing invaluable guidance and insider knowledge to help them navigate their careers. We don't just teach students how to plan for the future of business, but how to lead it, pushing boundaries in energy, supply chain operations, transformative technology, and more. forging powerful partnerships, networking, and growth opportunities for all. Our promise is not just a slogan. It's a commitment to continue leading the charge in revolutionizing the business world by unleashing human potential with leadership at the core and innovation in our spirit. TCU Neeley School of Business.
Yeah, what a great school. I've been over there to speak before, and you guys have done a great job, and congrats on your success. In the final 2 or 3 minutes, I want you to talk about how everyone can think like an entrepreneur, regardless of whether they're in corporate America or not.
Well, not only can everyone should. And the reason for that is regardless of your work environment, corporate, small business, tech startup, whatever, you need to be thinking like an entrepreneur, because companies today cannot iterate fast enough on products and services to stay in business. If you look at the Fortune 500, the most valuable companies in the world, their lifespan is now 14 years.
Wow.
And it used to be 71 back in the 30s, but now 14 because they simply cannot keep up with the pace of change. So they get merged, they get bought, or they go out of business. And as a result, whether you're working inside a big company or you're working for yourself, you need to constantly be thinking about, how can I innovate? How can I bring new products and services to bear for myself, for my company, whatever it may be? Because if you're not, the company you work for won't be around very long, certainly not for your whole career. So thinking like an entrepreneur means being able to solve problems, to be collegial, to have emotional intelligence about what's happening in the room at the moment, and understanding how to read it. Constantly working to think of new ways that products and services can be combined to create new things, or looking out into the marketplace and finding those new ideas and those new innovations that can be brought to bear.
And it doesn't matter where you are in an organization. You could be working in the mail room and come up with a solution to save the company a lot of money.
That's right. And it can be small. Everything big comes from something small initially. So no matter what the innovation is, if it creates value for you and your productivity or for the firm, do it.
Wow. Congratulations on your success, and thank you for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We're going to end with the website for Neeley. It's www.neeley.tcu.edu. Thank you for coming on the show, Michael.
Thank you.
Sherrod. You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.